What's up, everybody? Caleb Wagner, aka Wags My Tag, coming back strong inside your eye. And I'm talking about a crazy development in culture. That's right, I'm talking about the Family Guy Simpsons crossover. It's been long overdue, it's been hyped up, and we finally watched the episode. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to break down some of the main points that I thought were hilarious, controversial, and all around were memorable. So, as a little synopsis, Peter Griffin gets kicked out of Quahog. He ends up driving through the night. Doesn't know what state he's in. Ends up in Springfield. Mole Man, of all people, the old dude who could never get anything right with the Coke bottle glasses, ends up stealing their car. And that left off for some amazingness to happen because Peter Griffin went into the Quickie Mart and right away Apu blew their minds. He called him Cleveland. And I thought that was hilarious because their skin tones are identical. Moving on, though, you end up seeing Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin for the first time. It was like a magic juncture point in the history of the universe because you would never think to see these two opposing characters in the same room with the same voices, with the same characters in the Quickie Mart. It was just kind of crazy. You know, you got to step back and just be in awe for what you're seeing. You end up seeing a family and another family come together. It was pretty awesome how they pair up. Basically, they're a copy of each other, so the family pair off really well. You know, you got Homer and Peter. They are just the funniest combination of people ever. I have one comment about that, though. I do not like when they did the car wash scene. That could have been Lois and Marge and been 1,000 times better. You got Lois and Marge. That was pretty cool. They didn't do anything too interesting, and I did like the fact, though, that Marge got Lois said, well, if you would have had a bra on all day. But, I mean, it was just swagging how she said that. You end up having Meg and Lisa. They got emotional, and apparently somebody actually cares about Meg, Lisa. And Meg's like, I'll never forget you, Lisa. And she, like, carves her name in her arm. Pretty funny stuff, if you ask me, right? You end up having Brian and Santa's little helper. That's one thing that was kind of weird. You know, Brian really isn't part of the Springfield universe, the Simpsons universe. Dogs don't talk in that universe unless you're Poochie. Shouts out to real Simpsons fans out there. But Brian doesn't really exist in the world, you know, like he's a talking dog in a world where there aren't talking dogs. He loses Santa's little helper, ends up finding him at the end. It was kind of a like lackluster storyline, but there was a lot more going on. Stewie and Bart, though, were lights out. I really enjoyed that because Stewie was such a fan of Bart, you know, and as I grew up, I've always been a fan of Bart. Like, he's the bad boy of a generation, if you know what I mean. Like, I was a little kid watching Bart, and I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, oh, was that awesome, Bart? Unless you think it was, in which case it sucks. In which case it sucks. Then I think it sucks. Oh, man, no. Stewie, he was fumbling around with his words, acting like Bart was his mentor/hero. Ended up getting Nelson Taken style, and that was kind of creepy, but you gotta love it. It was absolutely amazing. Stewie and Bart, you know, using each other's catchphrases, eat my shorts, what the deuce. He's like, oh, I made that up. You got that. That's awesome. Stewie, shouts out to Stewie for being pretty cool. Crazy episode, though. You end up seeing the conflict arise, though, with Homer and Peter. Apparently, Duff is the real Pawtucket Pat, and Pawtucket Pat just put their label over some Duff, and it's the same thing. They end up going to court, kind of crazy, but a genius idea because it allowed all of the characters to come in there with contrast of each other. And Lenny was with Quagmire, and he's like, you don't have sex with a lot of people, do you? And he's like, we don't have a lot in common. They split off and everything. And Carl talks to Cleveland. He's like, yeah, we're both the funniest people in the town. Hilarious, right? And then by far the funniest part of the courtroom scene, though, was when the two mayors to get together, and he's like, oh, you cool? You cool? He's like, and they just leave. Hilarious stuff. You end up seeing a crazy Dragon Ball Z fight between Homer and Peter. You know, it was the chicken fight, but this time they get radioactive, take it out into space, and duke it out. There was so much packed into this. It was hilarious when Peter said, yeah, I'm only used to about 20 minutes of this, and the episode was about 35 minutes in. Crazy awesome, you know, just being self-aware. I did see some of the controversy, you know, the rape joke that was involved with Stewie. You know, Bart always calls like Moe's Tavern and makes funny jokes. He says, I'm looking for a leaky bum, and Stewie ends up calling and saying, your sister's being raped. And that was like really sharp. You know, you never see jokes like that in the Simpsons world. You know, like it's hard to name in any one joke that it was as sharp and as painful as that rape joke. Again, you know, I laugh at everything. If you can't laugh at everything, you can't laugh at anything. And I thought that was hilarious. But again, that was probably the most controversial part of the show. Funny stuff, amazing. I can't believe the crossover did so well. And I can't believe they alluded to the Simpsons coming to Quahog. That's going to be a pretty interesting development. And I can't wait to see how it all plays out, because that would be a whole another 40-minute episode of goodness. And this time it might be on the Simpsons season. You know, that only seems logical. Like, it'll be a Simpsons episode where they go visit Quahog. Can't wait to see it, guys. Pretty consistent. Can't believe they've been going for so long. Shouts out to Family Guy. Shouts out to The Simpsons, Matt Groening, Seth MacFarlane. You guys are doing a pretty decent job, if I don't say so myself. Get back at it, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe for more of the best on the entire internet, because this is where it consistently gets put in front of your eyes, and you can have it, do what you will with it, what you will. So, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, get back at it. Best on the internet right here. Peace.